I'm Emma O'Brien, transformational life and business coach, and in this video I'm going to share with you 15 ways that you can help to boost your creativity. So alongside my coaching business, I am also a photographer, and I spend a lot of time these days photographing dogs. You'll see some behind me over there, over my shoulder over there. And of course, running a creative business means I have to constantly be coming up with creative ideas and to be thinking outside of the box. Also applies to my coaching business with marketing stuff, what I'm talking about, how I'm showing up, how I'm making things interesting for my clients. And even if you are not in a generally perceived to be creative job, an accounting job or something like that, creative thinking is still your friend. Coming up with new ideas, new ways of looking at stuff doesn't just apply to people who are artists. It's applicable to all of us. So I'm going to share with you 15 ways that you can help to boost your creativity and to help you look at things slightly differently. So number one is simply to take your laptop and go and work in a different space. So this might mean taking your laptop from the office to go and sit on the couch and work, sitting in your bed and working, sitting in the bath and working. Please just be mindful, don't drop it into the bath. You won't see me with water anywhere near any of my electronic equipment because that would be just the thing I would do. So just working in a different environment can give you a different perspective and a different outlook on things and help you come up with new ideas. Number two is to meditate or have some sort of daily mindfulness practice that brings you into the present moment and helps to just clear a bit of the clutter in your headspace. I try and meditate for 15 minutes every day in the morning. It doesn't always happen, but I feel better when I do because I'm just able to think a little bit more clearly. And it also helps me sleep better. And this wasn't one of my points in here in the 15, so it's probably going to be 17. This is a great book. Getting a good night's sleep is absolutely imperative to coming up with new ideas, thinking creatively, and actually being able to get through your day more effectively. The optimum amount of sleep for most people is between 7 and 9 hours a night. And I know lots of people don't get enough sleep. And if you don't get enough sleep, you can't think as clearly. You are more likely to be reactive rather than responsive. You are more likely to feel stressed. And your brain is tired if you don't sleep enough, so it's impossible to come up with great ideas. So make sure you get enough sleep. Prioritize that. It's super, super important. Number three is to use a mind map to help you brainstorm ideas and to think about you can write your problem in the middle and then start to think about solutions for it, even the wacky ones. You never know. And if you do a mind map, if you've got a team of people that you work with, even better, because somebody might just have an idea that you're like, nah, isn't actually so crazy after all. Mind maps, super helpful. Number four, go for a walk. So it's a bit like the laptop scenario, but you just go and change your scenery, break your state. If you are sitting staring at a screen expecting for a eureka moment to happen, it might not. Go for a walk and have just a change of scenery and see if something new comes up for you in the process of just being out of your normal working environment. Number five, take a short nap. Now, the optimum napping time, apparently, is no more than 30 minutes. So otherwise you may well feel worse and more tired and more flat. But a quick 20-minute nap can be enough to reset you. And you might also find in that little moment, just before you drop off to sleep, some little spark of genius pops into your mind. You may well have experienced this when you're actually going to sleep at night, that suddenly you have a really great idea, and I often find myself waking up and I'm like, oh, I need to write that down because I know I won't. I'll think I'll remember it, but I won't, and I'll pop it in the notes app on my phone. So a little nappy might be helpful for you. Move your body, put some music on, have a bit of a dance, do a bit of yoga, do something to, again, break your state. So that might be, like we said, we talked about going for a walk, but you might have a little boogie. There's a little bit of scientific stuff to do with helping your vagus nerve function more adequately, is shaking. Like dogs shake stuff off. Apparently shaking things off can help. I can't personally attest to that. Haven't found that that's something that really works for me. You can try it, might work for you. Go to an art gallery and immerse yourself in other people's creativity. I pretty sure the energy of being in a space where there's like mass creative stuff on the wall is going to be helpful for you to come up with new ideas. I like to, for my photography, I tend to try and avoid looking at what other photographers are doing so I don't inadvertently end up copying someone's idea. But I like to have a look at art books to get inspiration for lighting, composition, color, and tonal combinations. I find it really helpful. You'll see behind me there's a very big collection of photography books there, and I like to, none of them are dog photographers, interestingly. So I like to look at fashion photography. I like to look at a Vogue magazine. We don't have, unfortunately, any art galleries near where I am, but when I visit the UK, it's the first thing I like to go and have a rummage round. Is the Tate Modern is my personal favourite. Spend an hour in active rest is number 7, I think. I've lost count here. We'll stop counting now because I'm probably going to get the numbers mixed up. So spend an hour in active rest. So things like gardening, knitting, colouring, doing puzzles is another great one. Something that keeps your hands and present mind busy, allows the thought loops and everything else that are quite exhausting and take up a lot of brain energy to stop, because you're immediately focused on what you're doing, and it makes room for new stuff to come in. I thoroughly enjoy fiddling around with my houseplants and repotting stuff. I'll put some music on and I'll do that, and I find that really, really relaxing. It's quite funny. My daughter, who is 19, if she needs to calm down and she needs to refocus on something, she will go out and weed the garden. She puts her music on and she goes and weeds. And again, she's in active rest and she's focusing on doing something, and it's expending some nervous energy if you are feeling anxious and het up. And it also just it keeps you present, so you're not worrying about things, you're ruminating over things. And like I say, it allows for space for things to come through. Revisit failures and see what you can learn from them. There is a whole other video about this. I'll post a link in the notes here about reframing failure. But going back and having a look at things that didn't work and starting to look at, especially if you've got a little bit of distance from them, so you're not in the beating yourself up about it phase. If you've got a bit of distance from them, you can start to have a look at, why didn't this work? What could I have done instead? And that will help you start to come up with other creative solutions that you may be able to apply to future things that happen. Take a day off. If you are like me and you run your own business, it's 24/7 really thinking about it and everything else. Sometimes it's really useful to take a day off. So for me, if I've been doing an awful lot, I will sit on the couch and I will binge watch stuff. Currently, I'm binge watching Homeland. So there, go figure. But take a day off. So whether you take yourself off for a day somewhere or you literally switch everything off and you take a day off and you completely switch off from your work stuff, it just creates a bit of space between you and what's happening in your life and things that are frustrating you. Find a friend and bounce an idea from them. And this is really useful if you've got somebody who doesn't do the same thing as you. What do you think about this? Because you'll be surprised at what solutions other people can come up with that can be really, really helpful for you. So that is a great thing to do. Phone a friend and say, I'm trying to come up with an idea for this. What do you think about that? And see what their perspective is. It could be really interesting, and they might just say something that makes you go, oh, hadn't thought of it like that. Super, super helpful. You can get your journal out and you can start to write stuff down. So you can write down the question, whatever it is you are dealing with, trying to process through, and you can pop it in a journal. What do you think about this? Why is this not working? And just see what comes with stream of consciousness writing. So this is lifted from Julia Cameron's Morning Pages in the Artist's Way, where she recommends doing 3 pages of free writing every morning to literally brain dump and help to generate new ideas. Because if you haven't got stuff that's worrying you, trolling around in your head, there is then room for new ideas to come through. Often our thought loops stop new stuff happening because we're so preoccupied with worrying about things or ruminating over things. So the more you can clear your mind, the more room you make for new stuff to come up. Go outside and sit on the grass for 10 minutes. There's some bit of scientific evidence about grounding yourself on grass with bare feet and having your skin on grass. Just go and sit on the grass and feel the grass and, again, be present with what's going on. I like going and sitting in the garden sometimes, and you can go and watch the birds and you'll start to notice little things happening. And again, it focuses your attention away from the problem and onto the present moment. Again, it makes room for new stuff to come up. Take a shower. Not as weird as it sounds. Lots of eureka moments happen in the shower. I've had eureka moments at the end of a yoga class lying on a yoga mat just because you make enough room for it. But showering is great because, again, it's a bit like the active rest thing. You are in the water, you are thinking about getting yourself clean, whatever you're doing, and you might find you have some good ideas come up. So not so helpful if you have a eureka moment that you need to write down immediately, but at least you are hopefully conscious and awake enough to be able to remember it and jot it down when you get out of the shower. But have a shower. There's another idea for you. And the other thing is to talk to a coach or mentor or somebody who can actually really help give you a different perspective, help you bounce ideas, and ask you powerful questions. So one of the big things with coaching is it's about asking people powerful questions. So as a coach, it is not my job to tell you what to do. I can offer you my opinion if you ask it, but it is about me helping to facilitate you to find the solution by asking you good, powerful questions that help you delve into your psyche and come up with new solutions. So I have found coaching is really helpful to get another perspective, to have somebody to talk through things with, and somebody to help bounce ideas with. Coming up with new ideas is something I really enjoy, and I really enjoy helping my coaching clients do that as well. The last thing I'm going to throw in here, because it's something I've started doing recently, is have a look at brain supplements, mushroom supplements specifically. So I have started taking lion's mane extract, which is it's a great adaptogen that is thought to help enhance cognitive function and to help counter the effects of stress. And I have also been microdosing with psilocybin. So this is something I'm in the process of kind of experimenting and working through and seeing how it helps me. But I started getting curious about that for alternative ways of being able to get creative and to tap more of the creative ideas I've got and to actually make use of my brain in a greater capacity. So this leads on from, I did a San Pedro plant medicine ceremony in December. That was a macro dose, so that was a proper quite an experience, and it was quite a game changer for me. So it opened me up to the world of psychedelics and how helpful they can be to generate new ideas and to tap into a different level of consciousness. So if that's something you're curious about, I invite you to do some investigation into that and see if maybe that's something of interest that could work for you. There's a hell of a lot of research going on about it at the moment, and how beneficial it can be for mental health, for creativity, for all sorts of things. So that's a little added bonus I'm just chucking in there as a suggestion for you to do a bit of research into whether that would be useful for you. So I know it's been useful for me. Like I say, as I record this, I am in the beginning stages of a microdosing journey. So I will be able to share more feedback when I've completed that journey and to see what changes and things have happened for me along the way. So I hope that was helpful. Happy creating, and I would actually love if you have any other ideas that you have used for creativity. Pop them in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I always like to hear different people's perspectives on things. So happy creating, and I'll see you again soon.